she can exploit situations to get views.
I'm gonna be real, yeah. But you wanted my information out for a galaxy. If I could, I honestly would go back to my old life, to being a nobody to people.
March 2024. A mother opens her phone, taps go live, and begins her nightly TikTok stream. She smiles into the camera, makes jokes, swipes through donations, and then she calls him.
2.3K people watching you right now.
A man's voice fills the stream. He's also a convicted killer, serving time for the brutal deaths of 2 young girls. But that doesn't stop the live stream. It doesn't stop the mother from calling him her soulmate. It doesn't stop the donations, or the praise, or the people watching it all unfold like it's a reality show.
I don't need him to like you, sir.
Oh my God.
Guys, he's innocent, and I don't care what y'all say, what y'all think, he's innocent.
This isn't just disturbing parenting. It's something darker. Because when the internet becomes entertainment, even murder becomes monetized.
Oh my God, they said, honestly, rip to those who lost their lives.
This is the case of Ash Trevino, a single mother who turned her chaotic life into content, her children into background noise, and her relationship with a convicted killer into a public spectacle.
I have nothing but this. If I don't make money on TikTok, I make nothing for my kids and they can't eat. Okay?
It's about how social media blurred the line between crime and clout. It's about the disturbing rise of trauma influencers who thrive off sympathy, chaos, and controversy. Ash Trevino, a 36-year-old woman from Texas who has found notoriety and a disturbing degree of fame by broadcasting nearly every moment of her life online. Her TikTok lives don't feature her dancing or doing makeup tutorials. Ash often sits in front of her camera in what looks like a disorganized apartment or bedroom, chatting with her boyfriend on speakerphone.
Okay, so you're gonna drive over here tonight and then stay here.
Yeah,
And then tomorrow you'll leave.
Yeah, you wash all my clothes and shit.
I'm gonna wash your clothes. Okay, yeah.
The content is mundane on the surface, but her viewer count? Often in the thousands.
The most I've ever made on TikTok Live was $12,000.
In one sitting?
Yes.
In one live?
Yes.
How many hours?
Like 2.5.
How? Well, welcome to the monetization model of TikTok Live. Viewers send digital gifts like roses, galaxies, lions, all of which convert into real money. One galaxy is worth about $15. These gifts trigger animations or sounds, and many creators, like Ash, have developed parasocial relationships with their audiences by chatting, reacting, begging, ranting, or even crying on command in exchange for cash. But unlike others, Ash doesn't just attract an audience. She attracts controversy because the man she's talking to on the other end of the line, her boyfriend, is a convicted murderer. Francisco's name might not have meant much to casual TikTok viewers at first, but to those who remembered the headlines from March 2018 in King County, Washington, it triggered instant recognition. His full name was Franciscoza Ramirez, and he wasn't just a guy with a checkered past. He was, at the time, already in custody for one of the most senseless, brutal crimes in the county's recent history. On the night of March 28, 2018, chaos erupted at a modest apartment complex. Residents flooded the 911 dispatch with calls. When deputies from the King County Sheriff's Office arrived, they found a scene that looked like something out of a gangland film, except this was real. Inside, lying in pools of blood, were 2 young women, Elizabeth Juarez, just 13 years old, and Ivana Cortez, 19. Investigators would later determine that Elizabeth, though only 13, was allegedly involved with the Southside Locos, a gang entrenched in turf wars. Francisco was affiliated with a rival gang known as ULK, a name that would appear frequently in the case files, court records, and later his social media. He was convicted of the double murder in 2019, just one of 3 separate killings he's been tied to. And yet, this is the man Ash Trevino calls babe on her live streams. This is the man she defends, saying people don't know the whole story. Ash's love for Francisco isn't just a private romance, it's a brand, and the internet is watching.
Last time I checked, so Jesse was number, I think he was like 20, something, like 25 maybe. And I've only talked to one more after him, so probably 26 in the last 5 years.
Ash Trevino didn't just stumble into controversy. She built it. On TikTok Live, Ash carved out her niche through chaos and proximity to violence. Her followers call her many things: delusional, reckless, shameless. But the one nickname that stuck? The inmate hopper.
I was actually a prison wife. That's why they call me the inmate hopper.
Why? Because Francisco wasn't her first incarcerated boyfriend. He was just the most notorious. Over the past year, Ash has used her live streams to talk about multiple men behind bars. She's turned these relationships into content, telling stories about their charges, reading letters from prison, even teasing romantic phone calls while viewers spam comments and disbelief.
This is him when we first met, and this is him like when he first went in. He went in at 15. He doesn't see parole until 2032, and he's been in since 2010. He is 29 right now. He's 6 years younger than me, so he's 29.
It's a twisted version of the prison wife phenomenon, a subculture where women become obsessed with men serving time, often for violent offenses.
She's married. They're getting a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is awful.
You hate him? Not a good guy. Have you seen him?
Yeah, we've met him. We went to visits.
She married a man in prison. Why?
This is her second marriage in prison.
Oh my God.
What makes Ash different is how public she's made it.
And while some viewers come to gawk or criticize, others enable her, sending gifts, laughing at her rants, or defending her right to love whomever she wants.
This bizarre brand of live stream romance might seem like a personal issue, but it becomes something very different when children are involved. Ash has 2 daughters, ages 13 and 16, who often appear in the background of her streams.
How do you feel about your family's private moments being public?
For their privacy, I feel like it's kind of awkward because there's probably things online that they don't want people to know.
Viewers have watched them ask for food, complain about being sick, or even request their mother to stop filming.
TikTok baby, my subs.
Mom, can you shut up? I'm just about to talk.
Each time, Ash brushes them off.
They even know. If I'm live, like,
Okay.
don't come in my room.
Her focus remains on the screen, the chat, the boyfriend in prison, the comment section. It's here, in the casual dismissal of her daughter's needs, that concern transforms into outrage. And it's what sparked a massive internet movement, a full-blown campaign to get Child Protective Services involved. Viewers notice odd details: her daughter sharing a single air mattress on the floor, their apparent lack of nutritious meals, their absence from any normal teenage routine. But soon the whispers became coordinated.
Do you have beds?
No.
People began compiling clips, timestamps, transcripts, evidence. They weren't trying to cancel Ash, they were trying to protect her kids.
Do you think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views?
I'm gonna be real, yeah.
So, what are CPS's guidelines?
We'll break down these factors, including the child's basic needs, supervision, medical care, and overall living conditions. Understanding these elements is crucial for parents to ensure while they provide a safe and nurturing environment for their children.
And viewers believe Ash checks those boxes. CPS guidelines require a home to have accessible, healthy food.
Bean dip, because I'm the bean dip queen.
Ash's food hauls, often live-streamed, are filled with ultra-processed junk, 12 varieties of spicy chips, bags of gummy worms, and bean dip. In one stream, her daughters ask if she can cook.
Oh, y'all want me to cook tomorrow?
Both of y'all.
On another day, when one child says she hasn't eaten dinner, Ash continues chatting with her viewers as if nothing was said.
Y'all are really trying to get my kids taken from me, and it's not gonna happen. Do you know how many CPS cases I've had on me in the last 4 months, and I still have custody of my kids? Like, you do understand when you call CPS, you have to have actual proof that they're in an unfit condition, right? You do understand that, right? For those of y'all that love to call CPS on me.
That comment stung, because for many viewers, this wasn't a woman surviving an unjust system, it was a woman gaming it. She flaunts her money, $3,000 purses, Louis Vuitton luggage, Balenciaga slides. She posts first-class flights, but her children? Still on the air mattress, still waiting for a home-cooked meal.
So yeah, you're right. My parenting isn't the same as yours. Not everybody's parenting is the same. My parenting is not going to be the same as my neighbor's parenting. My parenting is not going to be the same as y'all's parenting. But remember, we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different ways of life. It's not easy, especially if you're learning how to be a mom all over again.
And one live stream, Ash announces she's headed to Disneyland, alone. Viewers were stunned. Here was a mother of 2 teenage girls taking a luxury vacation to the most iconic family destination in America without her kids. When asked why,
I didn't take them to Disney. I've said this before. If you were not on that live, I'm sorry you weren't there. But I did not take them to Disney because my kids do not fly.
But that claim was quickly disproven. One of her daughters, on her own TikTok, posted that she actually enjoys flying and wasn't invited. Even more disturbing, while Ash was in Disneyland, live streaming her meals and shopping sprees, viewers say her daughters were home alone, sick, while Ash partied in El Paso with strangers she met online. The backlash was immediate and vicious. Comment sections filled with horror, calls to CPS, and demands for intervention. Some content creators began stitching her videos with detailed CPS protocol breakdowns, explaining exactly how Ash's behavior potentially violated welfare standards. Others reached out to lawyers, social workers, and advocacy groups. A few tried contacting local law enforcement. Ash's response? More live streams, more bragging, and a new layer of mockery.
So when y'all want to call CPS, y'all think about that. It's not me getting in trouble. It's my parents. Y'all think I only fight battles on TikTok? I fight them personally every day. As much as it hurts me, because I wish my baby lived with me, it's just not good right now.
In one now infamous live stream, Ash FaceTimes her daughter and without hesitation asks, "Do you want lip fillers?"
Do you want lip filler?
No, my lips are actually big.
They're not that big, baby.
Okay, but they're big enough for me.
They're not that big.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Why are you being a hater?
Let me see.
She then turns to the camera, smirking, as if mocking her child's face is just part of the show. Another moment that left viewers disturbed came during a call where her daughter shows off a new nose piercing.
And my nose is so perfect.
No, your nose is not perfect.
Your nose ain't either.
Bye.
And it didn't end there. On one occasion, Ash live-streamed herself dancing and singing to her own song. In the background, her daughter can be heard saying she just threw up.
Mom, I just threw up.
You just threw up? Why?
I just threw up.
You're lying.
Let me throw.
Continues dancing.
Mom, I threw up. Why are you dancing? You dancing? Yes. Alexa, stop.
Bro, I was jamming to
These moments build into something darker. They suggest not just narcissism, but a deep inability to prioritize her children's well-being over her ego and her online image. And then came the moment that made everything feel transactional.
And has Child Protective Services come and
They've interviewed me.
Okay.
But they've said there's no reason. They even tell my parents there's no reason to take them from their mom. Their mom is not an unfit parent. They've closed every single case that we've had.
Her younger daughter, referred to online as E, had recently been discharged from the hospital. Within minutes of returning home, Ash was back on TikTok Live. Viewers flooded the chat with questions. What happened? Is E okay?
If y'all want me to tell y'all about my baby girl's health, go ahead and send the galaxies.
You've taken her when she was sick and you're begging for money. You said send the galaxy to know about my baby girl's health when I was in the hospital.
That's because...
A galaxy is a virtual gift on TikTok worth about $15. In that moment, Ash wasn't just live streaming, she was paywalling her daughter's medical situation. The monetization of her child's illness didn't just feel unethical, it felt inhumane.
Yeah, but I still didn't like that.
But we've already.
But you wanted my information out for a galaxy.
The moment where any illusion that Ash was just a misunderstood mom collapsed. This was calculated exploitation. She knew exactly how to provoke her audience, and she knew that even if people hated her, they'd still watch. That's the dangerous paradox of TikTok live fame. Outrage fuels attention. Attention fuels views. Views fuel money. And Ash Trevino had become a master at weaponizing controversy.
And growing up, that's why I'm homeschooled too. In the beginning of school, people noticed my mom, and I got like in the cafeteria a lot of stares. And so if I could, I honestly would go back to my old life to being a nobody to people, because that's when I was more confident, didn't care how I look. And now since I'm publicly, I've cared more about how I look, how I go out.
Ash's name became synonymous with TikTok's failures. A mother who turned motherhood into content, monetized trauma, and seemingly dodged every system meant to protect children. But how did it come to this? How could someone with so much visibility avoid consequences for so long? That's where systems failed. Let's start with CPS. It's not enough for someone to seem like a bad parent. It's an infuriating truth. The system reacts after harm, not before. That's how Ash continues to stream, flaunt, and mock her critics, while still maintaining legal custody of her children.
But I still legally have custody of my kids. I've never lost custody of them.
So you do have full custody of your children?
Yeah, I have full custody of them.
But there's another system that's failed to act, one that's arguably even more powerful than CPS, and that's TikTok itself. Despite having clear community guidelines against exploitation, hate speech, and harm to minors, TikTok has allowed Ash to continue broadcasting. Why? Because the platform is driven by engagement, not ethics. TikTok's algorithm doesn't care if you're watching out of concern or disgust. A view is a view. A gift is a transaction. And Ash's lives generate both in abundance. Every scandal boosts her numbers. Every fight, every meltdown, every child's cry in the background, it's all fuel for the machine. Viewers report her, but her streams stay up. In short, the algorithm rewards outrage, and Ash knows it. She has gamified public attention. When things get quiet, she starts a fight. When her numbers dip, she brings her boyfriend back into the conversation.
If 300,000 people unfollow me, it's not gonna matter. Thank you, D! Because I don't get paid off my followers or my views. There's 11,000 people watching, or my likes. I don't get paid off the likes either. I get paid off of my subs, my gifts, and my video views. That's what I get paid on.
This is disturbing, not just because of what Ash has done, but because of what the internet has allowed her to become. A woman who profited from public concern. And in the background, 2 daughters grow up surrounded by cameras, controversy, and a crowd that can't look away. What will happen to her kids? And will anyone care when the views disappear? This has been Crime 101. If this case disturbed you, unsettled you, or left you asking how something like this is even possible, that means you're paying attention. But attention isn't enough. We have to ask better questions, hold platforms accountable, and protect the people who can't protect themselves. Because the next case won't look like this, but it might be worse. And by then, the algorithm will already have moved on.